But I wanted to do this challenge in a slightly different way. Gone a little bit school mum, I've gone a little bit teachery, but I think this week is really, really important. Obviously it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. If you're a singleton like me, you're going to spend the day on your own, and also this week obviously brings up a lot around love and how you feel for other people. So for me it was a perfect week to start with, well actually, all of that starts with you. All of that love for everyone else starts with how you feel about yourself. And so many women that I speak to give so much to everyone else. And the women that I've worked with, and the 200 plus women that I work with through the gym, the women that I've coached and helped since I've been working on StrongHer You, give so much to everyone else. They nurture, they care, they love, they give energy, time, love kind of endlessly, but they don't give that to themselves. So this week my goal is to help 100 women over 7 days during the week of Valentine's week to just find some more self-love, and to find some more time, energy and focus on themselves. But really for me, kind of self-love starts with, it's kind of 3 steps. I'm going to go all like lectury and kind of write stuff, so I'm hoping that you can see stuff and things, but we can take pictures afterwards. So it's kind of like a process. So hopefully you can see that. But for me, loving yourself starts with knowing yourself, because you can't love what you don't know. You can't be confident, have faith and belief in what you don't know. It starts with knowing yourself. Then you start to love and appreciate that because you understand it, because you know it. And then finally you can make your life to be yourself. So it's a 3-step process, and that's the work that I do within StrongHer. That's what all of my programs, that's what everything follows. So today, this is what we're going to do over the week. So StrongHer 7-day self-love challenge, no expense spared with with the Tony Hart kind of setup and drawings and stuff. But I wanted to kind of let it flow from the heart and just kind of trust myself. And I've kind of set up a 7-day challenge that we're going to go through 7 steps. So all you're going to need to do for this 7-day challenge, excuse me, you don't need loads of time, you don't need to change and revolutionise your whole life, but what you do need to commit to, 15 minutes a day where you either watch me live, I'm going to be at 10 AM every morning, so either watch me live or you can watch on playback, and then commit to taking action on what I've done that day, because everything kind of flows on from the last thing. It's built in a way that is part of the process that I use with my clients now, so I know that it works. So trust the process and follow. So you would need 15 minutes a day to commit. It doesn't need to be at the time of the actual recording, so that's done at 10 AM every day. I've just changed time because it suits me better. And then just do the work. Follow the actions that I say for that particular part of the process. You're invited to. You don't have to. You don't have to do any of this. I'm doing it because I know this process works. I know because I live here now doing what I love, doing coaching that I love, and I do it I do it because I love it, because it's my passion, because it's my purpose. And I've chosen to put myself first because of self-love, because I realised that I needed to do that for myself, because I knew that I needed to make a big change, because I knew I couldn't keep giving to everyone else without giving something to me. So that's kind of where this all came from. So today I just wanted to talk about, I was going to talk you through the process and what we're going to be doing over the 7 days, but today was just a simple one to get us started, which is, first step is what is self-love and why is it important, which we'll go through in a minute. That then flows on to number 2, which is self-love status. Like, where are you at the moment? How do you feel about yourself? What words are you using to describe yourself? What do you love about yourself? What do you not love about yourself? And really starting to get to the truth of what's going on at the moment. The third one then is a self-love start. And that's when we start to look at the real positives in your life and start to look at wins and start to look at who you already are. So we kind of start in this process of knowing yourself. Then we're on to self-love identity, where we start to help you kind of find what your values are and what you believe. Because again, you can't really love what you don't know. So that's the process of getting to know yourself. Then we're on to self-love, love for your body. So I did a whole week on this last week because I'm so passionate about it. But loving your body and loving yourself is the same thing. It's very difficult to love one without the other. If you don't love yourself, you're not going to be able to love your body necessarily. If you don't love your body, it's going to be quite difficult to love yourself. So those two are kind of intertwined for me. So there's a really good challenge, but a very simple one that I want that I'll take you through on that one that I think is going to be really impactful for a lot of you. And it's a lot of the reason that I end up working with ladies, especially when I was in the gym, but now more so. We've had over 30 ladies join the group, my free group, over the last day or so. A lot of them are talking about they struggle with their body and how they feel about themselves, and when they look in the mirror, that leads to challenges with their relationship with their partner and their friends, and going out and fitting clothes and going shopping. So that part will really help with that. Number 6 is loving your food. So having a great relationship with food and loving it, not about being good food and bad food, not about it being a battleground like I must cut down, out or back, or any of that. It's actually about how to start from a place of love. And then number 7, self-love for life. So how to take all these things that you've learned over the last 7 days and how to start to build that into your life. So that's the B. So you can see it follows this logical process of know yourself, which is kind of like the first 3, and then love yourself, which kind of comes from the next 2, and then be yourself, where we get into planning and we get into actually looking at, well, how can you bring that into your everyday life and kind of make the most of every day. Just going to check to see whether there's any comments that are coming up and make sure that everyone can see what I'm doing. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, cool. Awesome. So what is self-love and why is it important? So if I'm looking past you here, I'm just looking to make sure and see if there's any comments and stuff. So for me, this is me. I'm not much of a sketcher. I'm not great at this stuff. So it's kind of me at the centre of my life. So I wanted to start with what is self-love and why it's important. Self-love for me is really the basis of a happy life. It's the basis of a meaningful life. It's the basis of connection to others. And self-love is really about the fact that if you can't give that love to yourself, how can anything else from your life flow with love? So if you think about it, if this person is starting from a point of opposite of love, so say it's heartbreak, so that's just a broken heart, that means their relationship with food, that means their relationship, say, with training and moving, that means their relationships themselves, that means their kind of career and their work. If this is their approach to life and it's from a place of kind of loathing and hate and dislike, all those things are going to be on that same basis. So that means things become a battleground and a war ground, and you're forcing yourself to do things. So we've probably all had those diets where we've made ourselves do something, we've made ourselves eat the things that we don't necessarily want to eat. And then training, we've made ourselves move in a way that we don't really want to. We've made ourselves go to the gym. We've made ourselves show up to the personal training. We've made ourselves do it. It's not something that we enjoy. It's not something that we love. Therefore, it's never going to be lasting transformation, long-term change. With our business, my business last year, I fell out of love with my business in the early part of the year, and I was making myself do it. And it came from a place of kind of fear and fret and worry. So guess what I got? I got more of that for every part of my life. So I would put pressure on relationships to make me happy. I was anxious and worried about my work, so it showed through to my clients, and I was a bit grabby in terms of money. I was, with my training, it would be actually, no, I need to work before I can go training. Or I would rush through my training to get home and work again because I was worried about the business. And then food, it just wasn't a priority for me. So I kind of ate just ad hoc, and I didn't pick myself first. And that was all because I had that approach of life that was loathe, hate, dislike, or at best kind of, begrudging. So, does that make sense to people though? If that's how your frame of life, and this is actually a term, it's called your hedonic tone. If your hedonic tone starts from fear, it starts from fret, it starts from worry, everything else in your life is going to stem from that. So your food will be on that basis, your training will be on that basis, your relationship will be on that basis, your career will be on that basis, how you feel about your body will be on that basis. Your whole life will be based on fear and fret and worry. So that doesn't, to me, it doesn't seem logical then that you're going to be able to love anything. It doesn't seem logical then that you're actually going to be able to give love to others, because you're starting from this basis of fear and fret and worry. And that's okay, because you don't know what you don't know. So you don't know that there's a different way. You don't know that there's a more powerful way. You don't know there's actually a different way of doing things. Donna Murphy, I find I listen to my body more, as when I was forcing myself to exercise and eat healthily, it made me unhappy and I was putting stress on myself. Yeah, exactly. So if you think about it, what we all want to do over time is make change. And change comes from just two things. It comes from doing things in a simple way and then being fun. None of this smacks of fun. Doing it from fear, fret and worry. None of that is fun. So why are you going to keep doing it? You just won't. This isn't a basis for long-term transformation. Whereas if you start from a place of love, so all of this is from love, this version of me is me, happy, a little bit skinny, no boobs, but anyway, this is all from a place of love. So imagine then, so I start from a place of love and self-love from food. So I'm going to eat food that I love. I'm going to take time to plan it out. I'm going to take time to prepare it properly. I'm going to make it look nice on the plate. I'm just going to do it all from a place of love. My training or moving more, I'm going to do things that I love. So for me, that's strength training at the gym. But now I have my dad there, which I absolutely love, helping him through his program. I love meeting my friends up there, my friend Andrew, for example, and training with him sometimes. I love the fact that I can see progress and I can see my shape kind of changing over time, and I love that. So for me, I'm starting from a place of self-love. I'm doing what I love. I find it simple and I find it fun. So I'm going to keep doing it. Relationships. Starting from a place of love, it would actually be, what do I want from this relationship? I actually finished a relationship at the end of last year because it wasn't what I wanted, and it wasn't showing me any self-love because the other person got it all on their terms and it wasn't for me. And that was hard, and it is still hard sometimes because I really care about that person. But it wasn't for me. It wasn't the way that I felt was right for me. So coming back to love, I knew that relationship wasn't right for me. So I stood away from it. Career and work. I now get paid to speak. I get paid to share my views and my beliefs and my passions. And that to me that's all from a place of love. I love doing what I do. I love helping the women that I help. I love the fact that we're doing this 7-day self-love challenge, and hopefully I can help all 61 women that have signed up for it to just feel more self-love. And also that means that everything in their life is going to be your hedonic tone, if you like, which is your overall framework, and your mood from a brain point of view is going to be from a place of love. So that means it's going to be easier for you to feel happy because you're doing things that you love, because you feel like you're serving your passions, your purpose, your belief. Your relationships start with a place of love. Your food, your training, your career, your work, everything starts from a place of love for yourself. And there's no better platform to make changes, because that's going to be your hedonic tone will then be from a place of love. So it also means you're going to live a better life. So you're going to be able to, once you have that self-love, once you've been through this process of know, love and be you, you're going to have a better life for you and your family, because you're going to follow what you truly want. Like, I wouldn't be stood here outside the window of like this beautiful house and the beach without pursuing self-love, without going through this process of know, love and be me. I wouldn't be stood here in front of you now doing what I'm doing. So you will have a better life and a happier life because you've gone through this process of know, love and be you. It also means when there's more self-love, you're going to be more in the moment. I'll probably talk about time travelling another time, but if we're in the moment, it's when you feel like time goes really quickly. It feels like future thinking or past thinking doesn't matter. You're just in the moment. So think about the times, the people that you're with, the things that you're doing when you feel truly, truly in the moment. What are you doing? What are they? Because that is what you can start to create with your whole life. That's what I have now in my life, and that's what I want to be able to share with you. You're going to be able to, if you have that self-love, you've been through this process, know, love and be you, you're going to be able to serve others in a much stronger way. So you can't really give out what you don't have. If you don't have self-love, it's very difficult to keep giving endless love and nurture and care to everyone else. It's just difficult. It's a finite resource over time. You're going to start to resent them. It's going to be more difficult for you. So you can, ironically, being a little bit selfish and going through this process of self-love means that you're going to serve others in a stronger way because you're happier, because you know more of yourself, and you know what you need and you know what you want. So you're going to be happier, and you're going to be nice because you are looking after you first. Especially if you give a lot to everyone else, like if you're looking after your children, your partner, people who are in your business, your colleagues at work, your family, your mum and dad, whoever needs you, if you're looking after all of those, you're going to feel over time resentful and frustrated. So you're not going to be the best version of you. You're not going to have that same level of passion. You're not going to be able to keep up that same level of energy and focus and giving, because you're not serving yourself first. So it will just mean that you can be nicer. Ultimately, you'll get a better, happier life when you go through this process of self-love. Know, love and be you, which is the basis of all of StrongHer. And the other big thing that it means is that change then happens from a place of love. So change happens, you will start to fall in love with the process of change, whether this is in your career, your relationships, for your health and fitness. And that is the basis of StrongHer, is love, in self-love. Because once you get to a point where you're starting to make changes that you find simple, that are at your pace and that you enjoy because they're fun and because you love them, that isn't a process of change in the way that we make ourselves do it or force ourselves or we must do it. That's in a way that we're actually loving the process and we're going to embrace the process and feel good through the process. That is a completely different approach. And that is what you will start to do when you go through this process over the next 7 days. So if I think of my story and kind of like self-love journey, it's gone from this time last year, I'll be really honest, struggling with my gym, in a lot of debt, bank of mum and dad and credit cards kind of backing me up. Pushing really hard to get that business back to where I wanted it to be, incredibly lonely, fixated on a relationship that was never going to be right for me, pushing that really, really hard, not really training because I was so ill with my stomach, because I was very anxious all the time. There was just no self-love. There was no appreciation of what I'd been through for myself. There was no appreciation that my struggles were actually making me and giving me experiences to shape me. There was no appreciation of what I could do as a coach. And I just had none of that. I had no self-love, which meant I had no self-appreciation. That in turn meant that I had no self-belief. I had no self-confidence because I still didn't really know who I was and what I wanted. I was going through the process, but I wasn't there. Fast forward a year, and the last year was the best and worst year of my life. Best as in I moved home and I live in this beautiful house now, in this beautiful place, and I'm making friends and I'm settling and I love it. I'm running my dream business that's growing and I can feel real momentum. And that's all great, but the worst year in the fact that I lost Sam. I lost my little dog, I lost my best friend, I was ill and ended up in A&E. And also I just had a lot of stress with the house, and so best and worst, and also just finished a relationship that I cared deeply about. Best and worst year in my life. But it's ended up with actually my life now is exactly where I want it to be. I'm doing the work that I love. I'm living this house that I just adore, that I can share with my clients, and that all came from self-love and this process of knowing who am I and what do I want, what do I thrive from, what do I love, what are my passions, what's my purpose, and then start to fall in love with all of that because I've got that clarity. And that love also means that clarity of knowing myself meant that I could then start to really love all of that, and I could start to have belief and I could start to have confidence in myself because I had that knowing. I had that foundation of knowing myself inside out. Therefore, I'm going to be more confident. I'm going to have more self-belief and trust myself more because I know whatever's going on in the crazy world around me. Yes, dogs get ill and unfortunately have to be put down, and houses don't go the way that you want them to, all that sort of stuff. But because I've been through this process, I had that certainty in me, I had that self-love and appreciation. So that finally meant that I could be me. So I could create a life to be myself and to live the life that I wanted to, doing the work that I wanted, following my passion and my purpose. So that's why I wanted to share this week, really, my self-love journey and the 7 steps that I went through that made a huge change for me in my life, and that I now guide all my clients through in different ways depending on what they need and when they need it. But really, I see the changes in women. I see the change over time, and I see them standing a bit taller, speaking a bit louder, making bolder decisions, trusting themselves more, making their own realizations, having their own light bulb moments. I see all of that from going through some of this process. So I just invite you this week to really give it some focus, give it some time, and love and nurture yourself and the process itself and the steps. Try to take time on them. Try to give them focus. Book time in your diary to do them every day. They're going to be in the group anyway, so they're all going to run through my free Facebook group, so that it's going to be on one post It's going to be updated every day, but I want this to be interactive. I want this to be something that really helps you and helps you to change your life. So many women I know that are struggling with themselves, and they're successful in many areas of their life, but they don't enjoy their life. They don't feel happy. And the answers aren't out in the world. The answers are within you. You have every single thing you need right now. You have it all within you. You have every single answer. You have all the strength you need, all the certainty. You have everything. So this week, we're just going to start to bring that out of you. So I would just invite you just to give your heart to this process like I will do this week, and really give it attention and really focus. It's going to be 10 o'clock every day for 15 minutes. You can come on catch up though. You don't need to do it in that moment. If it's later in the day when the kids have gone to bed, that's fine. But I would just invite you just to comment on things, just to share what you're going through, to share what you're finding. Make the most of this. My clients pay me very well to work with me. I've invested £30,000 over the last 2-3 years getting to where I am now. And also my life and how I am now is evidence of this works. So give yourself the opportunity to really, truly make this work. If there's anyone you think would benefit from them, please invite them into the group. I'd love to get to 100 women. But that's it for today. So really just to say today, this is just really about self-love and why it's important. So the foundation of your life can either be fear, threat and worry, in which case everything within your life becomes a battleground and becomes uncertain and unsure. Or you can start from a place of love, and everything in your life can start to become a process of loving more, all because you start with that loving yourself. So your one challenge for today is a very simple challenge. Your one challenge for today is just to write down 3 reasons why you don't currently love yourself. What is stopping you? 3 things that are stopping you at the moment, and it might just be one big thing, that's fine. 3 things that are stopping you loving yourself right now in this moment. What are those 3 things? And write them down, and then we're going to build on that tomorrow. Okay? So post comments under here. I would love to know how you get on. Post any questions under the video. Tag anyone or share this if you found it useful. And I'm really excited for this week. So just say lots of love. It's going to be a great week. And I will see you 10 o'clock tomorrow. I'll be a bit quicker tomorrow. Just because I was setting everything up and I'm on a little stand and it's all kind of a bit techie for me. So yeah, well done me. Right, I'm going to go. But just say lots of love. And I'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye.